Growing up, my family watched a lot of game shows, primarily based off of trivia. So we did your standard nightly Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, right? That was a staple. But we also watched, fun shows like The Price is Right, Shop Till You Drop. We would do Hollywood Squares, I believe was a show, and then some show that had a pyramid. I don't even remember that one, but Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was my favorite show. So I'd like to play that with you right now. Let's say you magically made it to the $1 million question, and it all boils down to the following question, okay? So with that, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm not doing that again. All right, here's the question. Are you ready? It doesn't matter. The purpose of a discovery call is A, to determine the cost of the project, B, to inform the creative firm of what you want them to make, C, a fake noodle, aka an impasta, or D, to fully understand the prospective client's challenge. Oh, what is that? You want to use the lifeline? Sure. Let's go ahead and play the lifeline. Okay, we're down to two answers. A, determine the project cost, or D, to fully understand the prospective client's challenge. What will it be? This is for $1 million. A, determine the project cost. Is that your final answer? That's your final answer. Okay. Well, for $1 million, is it A, determine the project cost? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's talk about why the answer is to fully understand your prospective client's challenges. Now, I understand that my definition was more of an SAT approach to the best answer. Not everything was completely incorrect, but listen, from my years of experience, I've noticed two floating definitions or frameworks in which discovery calls and their purpose are being exercised. So the symptom-driven approach looks like this. Prospective client contacts a creative firm and they tell them what they need to have produced. The creative firm informs the client of a price range and what it would roughly cost to produce their request. They then go back, spend however much time producing a good, better, best proposal, and the client then weighs that proposal based off of the quantity of content, the quality of content, and of course, the price of the content against any other bids that they're receiving. And this is all barring that no referrals have been made. So that's basically it. And you're just being measured based off of who has the lowest price for the highest quality with the most content. Now that approach, it can work. It can produce great results if you find that magic fit, but oftentimes it falls flat. And oftentimes it's not evergreen. And oftentimes it produces inconsistent results that result in multiple revisions being made to then produce a flat video or whatever it may be at the end. Now, for the clients that stick around and they're like, let's try it again, you get closer to the goal each time because you're learning that client's business more and more. You're understanding their definition and perception of what success looks like, and you're also learning about their target audience and what best meets their needs. But there's another way, the rare perspective way. Prospective client contacts creative firm. I feel giddy, I'm excited. The creative firm, us, the rare perspective, we ask a series of questions to better understand what the initiative is, the macro picture. What's the business goal that you're trying to accomplish? What needs to be done to further anchor you in your niche as the industry leader in wherever you are in whatever marketplace? We then have a conversation about what success truly looks like, what hasn't worked in the past, what you haven't tried yet, and we inform you that we have a framework and a series of exercises that we do to better understand who you are and who you serve so that the content that we produce is fueling your desired outcome, as opposed to kind of just spot treating certain areas that have popped up over time. We're getting to the root of it and producing something that is more on brand, if you will, than the symptom-driven approach. The best way I can really explain this is by sharing a traumatic experience from my childhood. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this in under 2 minutes. Playing football in the front yard with my brother, younger brother, although he's always been larger than me, more strong, faster at times, and a lot more powerful. Playing football, and he throws a pass behind me. I try to save his terrible pass, and my knee dislocates. Pop goes the Kneesel right in the front driveway. Long story short, my dad ends up driving me to the hospital. They pop it back in, we do x-rays, MRIs, and it's sent to our county orthopedic surgeon, to my understanding. The orthopedic surgeon tells me that it's more than likely just a fluke accident, being that this hadn't happened before, and that I should just, do the whole Rice method, and I should be fine. Well, not long after that, the Kneesel popped out again, and we go right back to the orthopedic surgeon. We then ask more questions, or we're asked more questions in regards to family history. My mom starts digging around, and she finds out that one of her brothers had a knee issue as well, and it involved what was called his synovial gland. We inform the physician of this, and he says, well, there's a chance that you may have what's called synovial chondromatosis. Yeah, synovial chondromatosis, it's a mouthful. He's like, we may have to do what's called an arthroscopic flush, so I can look in there through a small hole in your knee, take a camera, and find out what's really going on. We agree to slicing me open, and I go through with the surgery. Sore as can be, I go through physical therapy, and while I'm in therapy, all the results start coming back, and we find out that, sure enough, the risotto-like substance that's adding all this fluid around my knee that tends to not go away was supposed to be synovial chondromatosis. I say supposed to because we're getting somewhere. I was informed that the best approach for my condition was to limit high impact activity and focus on more low impact things like cycling and swimming, walking, things that are not fun for somebody who's trying to try out for their high school tennis team. So of course, I don't listen. I keep playing, I keep lifting, I keep training, and my knee pops out again in college, freshman year. So frustrated, I was on the rise. We go back to the same surgeon. We tell him what happened. He blames me because I didn't change my lifestyle as he prescribed. And he's like, well, we're gonna have to do the flush. We do the flush, but this time it's the spring semester. We had the surgery during the winter break, and I wasn't able to have PT done in my hometown like I typically did. I meet the University of Maryland's head physical therapist. She informs me that, she treats all the football players and she's seen a ton of knees. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You've seen a lot of knees. So the difference here is that this physical therapist is asking me a ton of questions. She's taking me through a ton of exercises and range of motion tests to get the information that she needed to best diagnose my condition. I told her what my doctor said, but she took the route of trust but verify. She didn't really take his word as just being what it was. At first I was like, oh, I'm thinking you're just a physical therapist. Like, this is a whole doctor. You probably should know what he's talking about. That was a terrible perspective of mine. I've matured a lot since then. It's probably been more than 2 minutes, but we're almost here. Before we even completed my first physical therapy exercise or training program, the physical therapist sits me down and she says, I have a bit of bad news to share with you. I'm thinking we're going to amputate. She says, I know this may seem like a bold statement, but did your orthopedic surgeon ever mention the tightness of your IT band? The IT band, or the iliotibial band, runs from the top of your hip down to your patella, aka your knee. She says there's a distinct difference between how tight your right IT band is and how, normal your left IT band is. The IT band was causing my patella to track outward and causing my knee to be more prone to dislocating. Through her exercises and her framework, she was able to deduce the actual cause of my knee pain. What does that mean? That means that I went under the knife 2 times for no reason. That means I had to wear this brace around school 3 times for no reason. Listen, if it was not for the physical therapist and her process and her questioning and her ability to be confident in her framework and her studies, I would still be dislocating my knee to this day. I can't explain enough how significant that was for my life. I don't have knee pain anymore. I can go and play pickup basketball and I don't have to ice a thing. All I have to do is maintain the health of my IT band. There's this phrase in the lawn care community, and it's coined by, I believe, My Soul Testing. They provide soul testing kits. And it's know before you grow. And what they're saying is you need to know what's in your soil before you try to grow anything from that soil. That way you're not over applying or under applying or not applying what your soil actually needs. For your organization, what would it look like if you knew what was required to grow that ambassador or advocacy campaign? What would it look like if you knew what was required to grow that community initiative or that fundraising event? Clearly, there's significant differences between asking the right questions, having the right framework, and the right exercises to get you to your goal. That was the difference for me. I mean, that's what happened between my physical therapist and my orthopedic surgeon. My PC had seen so many knees. Yes, they were all different in some way, shape, or form, but lo and behold, she was able to use her experience. She was able to use her expertise to walk me through a simple, structured framework that changed my life forever. And because of that, I provided a bonus. This is the discovery call. I guess, what are we gonna call this? I didn't actually name the document. The Discovery Call Starter Kit. Let's go with that. The Discovery Call Starter Kit. It's a list of questions that I think should be asked on any discovery call that you have with a creative organization. I mean, you can even use this with your plumber or whoever it may be. It's just generally effective, but specifically pertaining to creative needs. I hope that it's helpful to you. It does cost. It's technically free $99, but I'm going to, how do I say this? I'm going to ask you for your electronic mailing address. Just put it out there, all right? Transparency. Asking for the email address. I know that's the golden ticket, and I'm hoping, I know this is early in our relationship, but I'm hoping that what I've shared warrants me being able to contact you monthly, all right? In regards to what's going on, both with the Rare Perspective and here on our YouTube page. All right, so I'll talk to you all soon. I know this was a long one, but yeah, I hope that it was helpful. Feel free to rewind it if things were too quick. And hopefully next time you get that Jeopardy, or not Jeopardy, that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question correct. See ya.